Hi guys. So since we have been closed, we have been looking at the circulatory and the respiratory system and doing them together because they really do function together. So what we're gonna do today is I have a cow heart and I also have some lungs. And if we were in school, we would be dissecting and looking at them, but I'm just gonna do it myself and have you see what's going on. So what I wanted to show first was this diagram, and it should have been in one of the PowerPoints that I sent you, and it goes through the circulatory system and what happens to the blood. So, and excuse the blood on it right now. So what it's starting with is the blood coming from the body. And if you can see, it's in blue because this is deoxygenated blood. So it is the oxygen has been removed to use by the cells. It comes into the right atrium, okay, which the atriums are at the top of the heart. The word atrium also refers to like a foyer, or when you go into a building, that's referred to as the atrium. So it's the entry of blood into the heart, whether it's coming from the body or the lungs. So it goes into the right atrium at the top. Then it goes down, and I'm not going to get specific into the valves, but it goes then down into the right ventricle. Then it goes into the pulmonary artery. And if you remember looking back, arteries always go away from the heart. All arteries, except for the pulmonary artery, carry oxygenated blood. So the pulmonary artery is still referred to as an artery because it is going away from the heart, but it has deoxygenated blood. It is going from the heart to the lungs. So then they go to the lungs, they go through all the bronchioli, and they go through by the alveoli, and they get rid of the carbon dioxide, and they get oxygen that you breathed in, that the animals breathed in. So that's the lungs. So now you have oxygenated blood, which comes through the pulmonary veins, because veins go away from the heart, and for some reason that's not on here. Goes into the left atrium. Again, atrium, the entrance to the heart. Goes then to the left ventricle, which the left ventricle has a lot of muscle to it. It's a very strong part of the heart because it has to pump the blood to the entire body. And we're looking at a cow. That's a large animal. An adult cow, 1,500 to 2,000 pounds. It's a long way to get to the tip of the tail, which needs blood as well. So the left ventricle pumps all that oxygenated blood through the aorta and then to the rest of the body. So what I'm first going to do is we're just going to look at the heart itself. Okay, so it should be, if I was a cow, situated kind of like this. Okay, this big part at the bottom is actually the ventricles. Okay, and they are larger and more muscular because the right one has to pump blood to the lungs, and then the left one has to pump it to the body. These little parts here, which almost look like, to me, they just look like sections of maybe a liver or something. But these are the atrium, so that's where the blood comes in. And here's one of the vena cava that's coming into it, so I can stick my finger right into there. Okay, so the blood is going to enter in through there, and when I cut it open, it'll make a little more sense. Over on this side is where the blood is going to come from either lung into the left side of the heart. And then this part right here, where it's got many, different parts to it, is the aorta. So I did go ahead and start cutting into this thing. So, we didn't really talk about different types of muscle in class, but maybe in biology or life science, you talked about different types of muscle. Smooth, muscular, and cardiac muscle. So this is where your cardiac muscle is, and you can see how thick it is. Again, this needs to pump the blood throughout the body. So again, starting here, this would be one of the vena cava coming into the atrium. which are pretty small. And you can see what it looks like on the inside. And then it goes down, and there is a valve, but I think I cut through it, that goes into the ventricle. And when you hear people talking about heartstrings, there really are strings in the heart that kind of hold everything together. So from there, and I don't know if you can see, but actually my finger's right there, and this would be then taking it to the lungs. So this is going to be one of the pulmonary arteries. So it goes to the lungs, does its thing, comes back, and if I can find it. It goes right here. Would be then one of the pulmonary veins, again, returning with oxygenated blood to the heart, goes into the atrium, and then the left atrium is the largest. It's kind of cool. You can see those heartstrings in there, as I said. You can see how big this muscle is. Again, it's got to be tough and it's got to be strong in order to get that blood throughout the animal's body. Okay, and then it pumps it up through here, and this is the aorta that takes the blood. Either one is going to go to the head, the other is going to go to the rest of the body. So to the caudal side of the body and the cranial side of the body, if you remembered when we did that terminology.